To the world premiere of Wounds from director Babak Anvari. It's such a pleasure to be able to have Babak back here in his true home, the Sundance Midnight section. So a big thank you to the team at Annapurna for giving us the opportunity to screen this wonderful film. But yes, back in 2016, we had the honor of world premiering Babak's directorial debut, Under the Shadow, here in the Midnight section. And this time, he's back with an incredible cast and another wonderfully dark tale. I can't wait to see your reaction. Please welcome up director Babak Anvari.
I'm here. You will get that reference in like about 5-6 minutes. It's so incredible to be back here. Sundance feels like being back at home. You know, I premiered my first film here in 2016. Can't believe how excited I am to be here, sharing my second film with you guys. I hope you guys are excited too. Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. I really hope you enjoy the film. Thanks so much for being here at midnight on Saturday. And I'll see you at the end with some of the cast members for Q&A. Yeah, hopefully we'll have enough time to digest the film and come up with some good questions. So enjoy Wounds. Alright, before I start, can I please ask Armie, Hammer, and Zazie Beetz to join me here?
Cool. Before I open it up to questions to the audience, I would love to hear Buck talk about just discovering the source material and how long between you first reading that were you then between you then starting to write the screenplay.
Sure. So my producers Lucan and Christopher Kopp, they sent me the novella which the film is based on. The novella is written by Nathan Ballingrud, who's here in the room. I was actually very nervous showing it to him for the first time because it's based on his book. But so they sent me the book kind of right after Under the Shadow, and I read it and I just fell in love with it. I just felt like it was a great companion film. Under the Shadow was like a great follow-up because I don't know if anyone's seen Under the Shadow, but like that was like more. Oh, thank you. That was more like about like a journey of this woman, like ascent of this woman who faces her demons and like become a hero. And then this one is about the descent of a man. And I just thought, you know, it's a perfect. I knew exactly how to turn it into a film. So yeah, then we went for it. Pitched it to Annapurna. They went for it, and then I started writing. Got busy, and it was like it was a great development process with Annapurna. It was pretty efficient, quick, and I think it took like just over a year, and they were ready to go in production.
Seemed like they were very tricky to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Which one was like the most challenging and why?
And all three of you could.
Yeah. What was challenging for you guys?
Sequence-wise?
Yes.
I couldn't take the last shot seriously because I was just sitting in a room leaning over Brad Henke going like this for minutes at a time, which felt ludicrous.
Yeah. And I wasn't shouting cut, and Brad was like just screaming.
At the end of every take, Brad would just be completely out of breath, like, dude. And I would look at Bob and go, "Are you fucking kidding me? What are we doing?"
Like cut. Okay. Yeah, there were like there were a few challenging shots. There were like times that we had to be efficient. Like we had a scene that like we had like 4 or 5 in my head, it had 4 or 5 angles, but we're realizing that, like, you know, we need to shoot this quickly, and then it just, me and my brilliant DP was half of my brain, Kit Fraser, was just like going like, right, let's just combine the shots, and there was a lot, you know, a few occasions like that, but it was just like, yeah, it's just like planning a choreography with the actors and with the camera, and yeah, I can't really, I guess the end sequence was the most challenging one, yeah.
Also, any shot where we had live cockroaches was pretty rough.
Oh yeah, bang on, yeah, thank you. Live cockroaches, if anyone wants to shoot them, oh my god, good luck. Just
don't.
You need like a road triangler. If one goes missing, shooting stops until you find it.
And also, the Wranglers had spent too much time with these cockroaches. Because they were like, you know, when you really spend a lot of time with them, you realize they each have different personalities. Yeah, no, totally. Okay.
And they stink. Yeah, they do, genuinely.
They were food grade. You could eat them. I remember he said that.
We didn't eat any roaches.
We did have that bet though.
Never seen you guys really throw yourselves like this much into the horror genre before. Can you just talk about what it was like, really, you know, dipping your toes from an acting standpoint into that genre?
I think I can speak on that a little bit less than you because I feel like I'm more, I don't go crazy. I think in any genre that it's sort of like still based in truth and what your character is going through. Of course it's heightened, but I feel like I was just sort of following your lead, and it didn't feel different to me. But I think I wasn't in the scenes really where you were kind of completely going off, besides sort of when we were at the shore of the river. And yeah, that was kind of intense. So.
Yeah, it's funny, you know, when you're shooting a scary movie, it doesn't feel really any different than shooting anything else. You do it in such little short segments that, you know, you do it and Babak will come up and go, okay, I need you to be more like this, or I need you to do more of that. So it's really the same kind of challenges as shooting anything else, and you're never scared when you're doing it. So you never know how it's really all gonna fit together, or if it's gonna be scary, because, you know, one shot would just be like, I need you to walk really slowly up to the door. You're like, okay, I can do that. Walk really slowly up to the door. It's like, cut! And you're like, okay. Was that scary? Did we get it? Like, I don't know.
It's funny because I think actually doing the horror sequences or scenes are more fun. In some ways they're easier than like doing a dramatic scene, like, you know, that takes more effort. Yeah, you know, like you running around, like, you know, creating that tension is just a lot more entertaining than, yeah.
What's particularly interesting is that there wasn't much of an attempt to explain the true original source of this evil. To what extent did any of you, at any point in the creative process, really try to internalize where that might have come from? Or did you decide to remain ignorant, so to speak?
Well, for me, you know, I chatted a lot with Nathan, who wrote the novella, and we knew what the mythology behind this thing is, but the key thing was that it's a very Lovecraftian story. It's just this ordinary guy just suddenly stumbles upon this thing that is beyond his understanding. So we did that on purpose. We felt that it needs that thing, the horror, mythology side of it, or what the source is. It needs to be more ambiguous and more down to audience interpretation, because that's a trigger to sort of, for the unraveling of like Armie's character. I think for me that was the interesting part, that this thing comes into his life, this charming guy who's quite shallow and you know, have a have a healthy dose of toxic masculinity, feels kind of entitled, he doesn't take life seriously, and this thing comes into his life and forces him to drop his mask and like really exposes himself. That was the most interesting part of it for me.
The question was about setting the film in New Orleans.
The original novella is set in New Orleans, and actually Nathan used to live in New Orleans and was a bartender there. So I don't know how much of that was based on his true experience. He could have a demon inside him at the moment. So the setting, the New Orleans setting, was really key. It was almost like a character in the film. But one thing we wanted to make sure was that we didn't want to make sort of a postcard movie of New Orleans. It just needed to like sort of fit right in there. Like and you know, there are like elements that like cockroaches are very common in New Orleans, but then like taking those and twisting them into, you know, this dark element. And New Orleans is like, it's a fascinating place because it's a very fun place on one side, but it has like a lot of history and it has a dark side. And you know, I always say that like I love New Orleans, but it always feels like you know, there's a strangeness to it. It feels like it's sitting on like a portal to another dimension, you know, and like the voodoo history and whatnot. So it was just it's just like it was a perfect setting for it.
The question was about the sound design.
Sound design is very important to me, and basically from the get-go was like there shouldn't be any real score in the film, and it should all be sound design. I did that with Under the Shadow, and the sound design starts in the edit suite with my editor Chris Barwell, who cut Under the Shadow too. And from the script stage, we sat down and we talked about how to create the sound palette. And once again, hats off to Chris, is here somewhere. Spent a lot of time. You know, Chris is an editor. He doesn't just focus on like cutting the visuals together. He spends a lot of time trying to get the sound right. So we spent a lot of time in the edit creating a great template for the designer and the mixer. But yeah, to answer your question, it was really key because I didn't want to use like your sort of like classic score, like, you know, with like, you know.
The Sounds of Hell.
And the Sounds of Hell, yeah, that was a huge inspiration. There's this, I don't know if it's a real thing or not. I heard this when I was a student on the internet. It was like in Siberia they were trying to do these experiments and like they accidentally recorded the Sounds of Hell. And like I used to play that on set to get them in the mood. And then, and we're like, can you just stop that? But yeah, then in post we actually recreated that. So yeah, it's very important to me, sound. Yeah.
Is that a quirk of your character, or do you really eat bacon with a fork?
The question was about bacon with a fork.
It's an excellent question. I saw the movie yesterday, well now, 2 days ago, I guess since it's after midnight. I saw the movie 2 days ago for the first time, and that was the one thing in the movie that I saw that I just thought, what the hell am I doing? I don't know if I was thinking about other shit or what was going on. To answer your question, I have never eaten bacon with a fork before in my life. And I'm with you, I thought that I did a very strange thing.
It works though, you can still cut it.
But who cuts bacon? Like, just pick it up. Yeah. Excellent question.
Let's give a final round of applause to the team behind you.